I'm dressing up for the book. You know, I gotta immerse myself. We need to talk. We need to speak. My family is home from church, which means we need to speak fast. Our topic discussion for today is I need you all to know that I'm not a book hater. I'm not. I know that everything on my page screams book hater, but I promise that I am not. I am not a book hater. I am a poorly constructed book hater. Watch, boom. I hold this book like this because that's how much I disrespect it, okay? In the most disrespectful way possible. This is garbage. I don't even remember it. I just remember writing down this a lot because I annotated in this book compared to like Powerless, which I had mild respect for. I had no respect for this. None. Not a single ounce. Not a single piece of it. As you can see, I remember that I was rewriting this book, okay, trying to make it better because that's how I practice writing. Because I like writing, I rewrite bad works. That included Powerless. I was rewriting Powerless. That includes this. It's on my AO3. I'm not gonna link it, but you can find it if you try hard enough, I'm sure. I knew I was writing in caps a lot of the time. And I didn't really understand a lot of what was going on because literally nothing was going on. I mean, I probably wrote more annotated words in this book than actually were in this book. Okay? I don't think you understand the plight that I had befallen while trying to read this. I got up through chapter 18, which is 131 pages, which I guess isn't uncommon if you're writing maybe 10 pages a chapter here. Except I write 10 pages a chapter for my books, and that's 8.5 by 11. Single spaced, size 11 font. Like, it's tight, okay? And this, so many words for nothing to be said. I can't even really give constructive criticism because I've forgotten all of it. Literally nothing important happened to the point where I don't remember any of what happened. So what we're just going to do today is I'm going to read you my annotated notes, and I'm going to try to dredge up any ounce of memory. I do remember the first thing that made me so upset in this book was this. The curses and the powers, okay? Because all of them are so... I want to start from the very top. The wilding curse is to eat human hearts to survive, you know, point blank. Fine. Okay. And then kill anyone they fall in love with. Why? Who knows? Does it compel them? Does something compel them to just kill? Does like a switch turn on and they just like kill whoever they fall in love with without thinking? And what is love? Is a crush enough to make them kill that person? Or is it like you need to be like physically intimate with someone? I'm losing brain cells just trying to talk. And I did hear that Alex Astor has aphantasia, which if you don't know what that is, that means that she cannot picture things in her mind, which is fine. Hopes and prayers go out to you. But it is so easy to work past that, okay? It is so easy to work past that because just look stuff up, okay? There was literally like no constructive descriptions in this book, and that's because I think Alex just simply couldn't see what she was trying to describe. But you can look things up. I don't have aphantasia, and I look things up when I am writing. It's just that easy, mostly because I want to make sure that my descriptions are correct. But if you can't describe something, just look it up and then write what you see. Like, it's not hard, it's not difficult to work past limitations like that. Anyway, going back to the curses and powers right here. The wildling powers is that they can control nature and have affinity with animals. Okay, boring. Boring, been there, done that. The starlings all die at 25. Okay, the starlings are the worst. Okay, they have the worst curse. Okay, I don't care who you are. They have the worst curse, okay? But can harness the energy from the stars and perform telekinesis. That doesn't make sense at all. None of that. None of that makes sense. But dying at 25 is wild. That is wild work because none of the other curses are that bad. The skylings have lost the ability to fly. Okay, and that just affected one generation. The rest of the skylings are perfectly fine. Like, literally nothing is wrong with them other than the fact that they can no longer fly. They are basically just empowered, normal people. They are the same as everybody else now that they can't fly. Like, their curse isn't even a curse at that point because they still have their powers. They can still control wind and weather. I don't know how specific we are with that. What type of weather? Is wind not weather? Is a breeze different than wind? Do you mean air? Just like air in general? Or does wind already have to be blowing before they can control it? You know what I mean? Just a lot of stuff that I'm questioning. For the moonlings, their curse is that the sea becomes deadly every full moon. What does that mean? Does the sea come out and try to suck them in? Do they get called to the sea? Is this like an H2O, just add water sort of thing where every full moon they're drawn to the full moon and into the is that what this is? Is that what we're having to deal with? The sea becomes deadly. How? Are there tsunamis? Are there what is how? Why? How? Sunlings are basically vampires. They will burn in the sunlight. They'll just burn. Which is kind of almost as... No, that's not even as bad as dying at 25. But, I don't understand how she sat down, wrote down all these curses and powers, and was like, yeah, that's fine. That all makes sense. That's all kind of, equally as horrible. Because I'm going to spoil it for you, because it was spoiled for me. I didn't even get this far. I just heard things. Celeste is a character in this. Celeste is a starling, meaning Celeste will die at 25. Except, oops, no, she's not. Celeste is actually the person who made the curses. And she's also over 1,000 years old, or something like that. So not only did she curse her entire people to die at 25, she now, I don't remember what her motive was, but she now wants to break said curses. Girl, you couldn't cognitively think that, oh yeah, that might be a problem later. The fact that I've cursed my entire race to die at the age of 25. You didn't think that would be a problem? Unless she's queen being it and having kids every year, she couldn't I don't get it. I don't get it. The sunling powers that they can control fire, light, and heat. How? What sort of light? Candlelight? Is that it? Because you obviously aren't controlling light from the sun. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand. The nightshades, they will perish outside after nightfall. What is considered nightfall? Is it when the sun is completely down? Is that nightfall? Or is dusk kind of nightfall? Because you need to be more specific. You need to be very specific because people like me need specificity. So they will die outside after nightfall, which means they can only go out in the day, and the sunlings can only go out at night, which means that they're never seeing each other, essentially. I don't understand. And how is that a curse? Just go to bed at 8 p.m. every night and you'll be fine. Like that's just like normal people come inside once the sun goes down. Unless you're like one of those party people, which I look like I'm one of those party people, but I'm not. I'm dressing up for the book. You know, I gotta immerse myself. But then their powers, the Nightshade powers, vary based on strength. Okay, they have the ability to turn invisible, read emotions. Stronger individuals may be capable of mind control. They can wield shadows, and they can spin curses. The Nightshades have pretty much every other power that she could not fit into one of these, like, other five. Stupid, I shouldn't have held my book like that, because now it's, like, biting me in the butt. She just gave them all the powers that she couldn't fit in these other five subcategories. Like, that's what happened with Nightshade. She was like, yeah, I want the main love interest to be like as powerful as possible, but also don't make it obvious that I have an obvious like infatuation with this fake man that I've come up with, because I just want him to have every power. Like that's essentially what happened. And none of the powers that the Nightshades have anything to do with each other or with their like ability. Kind of like shadow wielding is the only one. And if you combine shadow wielding with the ability to turn invisible, or in the case that I was rewriting it, it was shadow wielding and the ability to like morph into shadows. So like that makes sense. If you were to give them those two, that makes sense. But what everything else? Mind control, spinning curses, reading emotions? I don't get it. I don't get it. Shouldn't the starlings who have telekinesis, shouldn't a sub power of theirs be reading emotions? Because it's not just like, oh, I see on your face that you're upset. No, it's like literally like in their head, like reading the emotions in their head. And like that would make sense for someone with telekinesis. But we aren't that smart. Starting with the prologue, there was some sentences in this first paragraph that should have been switched around and reworked, because like the first sentence is talking about the skylings falling from the sky, and then the second sentence is talking about the sunlings burning up, and then the third sentence is talking about the skylings falling from the sky again, and then the fourth sentence is talking about the wildlings. And so there was like a whole bunch of sentences jumping all over the place that you didn't need to do, at least from what I saw. It was just a whole bunch of like everything all over the place, and none of it makes sense. I'm gonna read you this sentence that was super confusing and didn't make sense to me, and I had to reread it multiple times. The curses were spun and felt in minutes. I read it as someone with dyslexia. I read it as the curses were spun in what felt like minutes, which I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Why are we reading it now? I get that, like, the moment that the curses were spun, it affected everybody, but isn't that the point? Doesn't that happen? Unless you specifically have a curse, like Maleficent's curse on Sleeping Beauty. That one took a while to take effect. Like that was a long she was edging people for a while with that one. But like this didn't make sense to me in the context of what I was reading. This did not make sense. The prophecy is as follows: only joined can the curses be undone. Only after one of six has won. When the original offense has been committed again and a ruling line has come to an end, only then can history amend. Someone needs to make sure Alex never gets into poetry. I blatantly said, what the heck is this, in my notes, because what the heck was that? What the heck was that? And we didn't need that in the prologue. Like, this book does so good at giving us all the information all at once. And there's never any suspense because nothing is ever drawn out. Like, everything happens like in complete sequence to each other. At one point, I remember Isla was talking to Celeste about needing to go find something on the I think it was the Skyling Isle, because there's a whole bunch of aisles. It was really weird. I can't imagine it at all. It'd be helpful if they put it on the cover, but they didn't. Or a map. A map would have been lovely. Isla was talking to Celeste because they were best friends before Celeste was revealed to be the big bad. But Isla was saying to Celeste that she needed to go find something on the Skyling Isle, but she wasn't sure how to do that. And then the next chapter, she knew exactly how to do that and went and did that. And so, like, there was nothing in this book was in Isla's way. Ever. Nothing. She was probably the most Mary Sue main character I've read in my life. And I read Powerless. Like, everything happened exactly as it needed to happen for this book to work completely in Isla's favor. There was no struggle from her at all. This whole thing, I'm going to show you. This whole thing right here, one sentence. It's one sentence. It has 4 commas. But this entire little paragraph section that you see right here is one, it's not even a paragraph. It's legitimately one sentence, which wouldn't normally be a problem except for the fact that it dragged on forever. If your sentence is long, it needs to have a purpose. It can't just sit there and drag on forever. Let me dig right in my memory a little bit. Isla has fallen through a puddle of stars and into faraway places. Never gets explained, never gets elaborated. It's just like that. Well, it says always without permission and seemingly on the worst occasions. But Isla is portaling, okay? She's using the star stick, which she got somehow, and she is portaling to other realms, alright? And it says, and seemingly on the worst occasions, but she has complete and total control of when she travels, okay? She doesn't have complete control of where she travels yet, but she knows exactly when she's going to travel because she chooses to do that. So the fact that it says always without permission, which is true, and seemingly on the worst occasions is untrue because she chooses. If it's a bad time, bad place, don't go. Just simply don't do that. You know, it's not hard to make the decision to be like, yeah, I have a lot of stuff going on tomorrow because I'm going to Lightlark to fulfill this like prophecy thing. Maybe I shouldn't travel today because if they discover that I have my star stick, that'll be really bad for me. And she does it anyway. I'm gonna read you those really long sentences I was complaining about. Even after 5 years, portaling made her bones groan. She held her star stick tightly, her breath bottled in her chest like the rare perfumes on her vanity. The glass room spinning and fracturing, and the glass room spinning and fractured colors bleeding together until gravity finally pinned her down like a loose thread in the universe. Semicolons are a thing, babes. And it was safely tucked away down the back of her dress, along her spine, by the time the door swung open. What is it? This is a new sentence. What is it? I know that they mean the star stick, but you need to be specific. So Isla has these 2 nanny bodyguard things, Tara and Poppy, okay? Because everyone in whatever Wildling, I don't know. Everyone in Wildling Land has to have some sort of like naturalist name, I guess, because that's just how that works. I don't know what to tell ya. They're getting her ready for she's traveling to Lightlark. Okay, Lightlark is the island in which I wish it like showed kind of. It doesn't. This is just a heart with flowers. I wish that they had put like the island on the heart somehow. I think they did that. They did something with Nightbane's cover that I thought was really clever. But they're getting her ready to travel to Lightlark because Lightlark is the island where all 6 of the realms or the races of the different people groups, you know, that I just mentioned just not too long ago, That's where they all used to live before the curses were spun, and then after the curses were spun, they all moved for some reason. I don't know. I don't think it was ever explained. There's a lot going on because I wrote a lot in this book. She's talking about how she's basically half naked and what they dressed her in because wildlings had always been proud of their bodies, beauty, and ability. They had always loved wildly, lived freely, and fought fiercely. And I wrote down, isn't that a song or something? I think it is. I just haven't found it. So chapter 1 is basically her just getting ready to go through a portal to Lightlark. She is portaling to Lightlark. Why they can't just portal to Lightlark the rest of the time, I don't know. It's said that Lightlark is unattainable. Like, you can't get to it from, like, the outside. Like, it claims that Lightlark disappears. Lightlark doesn't disappear. It's just surrounded by a really bad storm that no one can get through. So it's not gone. It's just there, I guess. Why they can't use the portals? Because it's what, every 100 years, I think they said that someone travels to Lightlark. And it's the rulers. The rulers of the realms travel to Lightlark to try to break this curse, with the prophecy that we were given in the prologue. I think the prophecy should have been moved to when, oh, my crown is crooked, why didn't you tell me? To when Isla was already at Lightlark. I think that's what they should have done. When Isla got to Lightlark, we should have been able to sit down and, I don't know, see some sort of like relic or something that explained the prophecy to us, because we got info dumped in the prologue and no one's going to remember the prophecy. They're going to have to flip back and forth. You need to make sure that the information you're giving your readers is timely. Like, you time when you give it to them. You need to like drip feed, kind of. You can't tell everything all at once. That's no fun for anyone involved. She gets through the portal, and chapter 2 is when she ends up on Lightlark itself. She meets Grimshaw. She meets Grimshaw, which we find out later. I'm just gonna spoil everything for you at this point, because I don't care. I don't care. If you're watching this video, you've probably already seen videos about this, and I don't care. She meets Grimshaw. Grimshaw ends up being her husband. Okay, later we figure out that she and Grim are married. For what reasons, I don't know. Why he took her memories, I don't know. Why he's trying to win her back, kind of, I don't know. I never got that far because I stopped caring. They're on a cliff, I guess. She portaled to a cliff on Lightlark, and she knows his name. I don't know how she knows her name because allegedly all of her memories were stolen. But she knows his name. They're on a cliff. She's like, if I had fallen off the cliff, that would have ended everything. Grim says that would be an inconvenience. He grinned, sorry, revealing a dimple. Then he tells her to call him Grim. She's like, Grim, what a terrible word, she thought. Which is weird. Wait, that's written so weird. Let me show you. Okay, so this sentence. Come closer. Come closer to me, really quick, while I show you this. Okay. Good Lord, have mercy. Hold on. Stupid book. Stupid book. Okay, this sentence right here. There's Grim in italics. There's Grim in italics, and then it says, what a terrible word, Isla thought. Was she... And then it says, worn with pride. I don't know what that means. I'm rereading. I don't know what that means. Isn't what a terrible word supposed to be in italics because that's what she's thinking? Isn't that how that works? Sit up for a second. Am I losing my mind? because she's thinking that, but it's written as if I'm so confused. So anyway, somehow they know each other and they walk to the palace in Lightlark. Then it starts getting really bad. This is where the book starts getting really bad, and you can tell by how much I've written that the book starts getting really bad. Because I wrote in red because the Lightlark is red, but then I ran out of red, so I started using any other color I could find. I ended up writing a lot. It gets bad from this point on. Like, there is more underlining than there are lines in this book. It's a terrible thing. Like, and then they just repeat. I'm pretty sure this is this is when she was explaining how Lightlark came to be. The island was cut into several pieces, so each realm could claim a shard. Nightshade left the island to farm their own land, um, but the mainland, I don't know, it's so confusing. Like, the way it's written is so confusing. She keeps talking about how people are scared of her because she's a heart eater, and how much that affects her and makes her feel. But we find out later that she doesn't actually eat hearts. She can't because she's not cursed. She's powerless. She and Peyton would be best friends. She's like, it hurts me so much whenever they're like afraid and they fear me because I'm a wildling and we eat hearts. Except she doesn't eat hearts. She has nothing to feel bad about. She's not even feeling sympathetic towards her other people. She's just letting it affect her. She's like, I feel so bad that she's not saying, "Oh, I feel so bad that this is the way that everyone sees my people." She's like, I feel so bad that this is the way that everybody sees me cuz this isn't me. And I'm like, "Shut up." There was one part where I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." And then right after I said, "Oh, you've ruined it." By chapter 18, at some point it got to the point at some point this book got so bad that there was no dialogue in like chapters at a time. Like, there was no dialogue whatsoever between characters. It was all about the eternal conflict. Internal, same difference at this point. The internal conflict, that there was no other dialogue. In this chapter 3, they're repeating the same stuff again, which I was very upset about because I'm like, we get it, tell me something new. They never came up with anything new. It was the same stuff over and over and over again, and I was upset about it. I was very upset about it because all of the promoting and how people were so excited about it, and then all the glazing that has been done to Alex from her fans since then, like, you should be giving more. You should be giving more. This isn't even like a review. I can't review this because there is nothing to review. There are chapters when there is no dialogue, and when there is dialogue, it's nothing constructive. There is nothing constructive. And then this is the part in chapter 4. Chapter 4, we couldn't even wait until like halfway through to drop the bomb that Isla is powerless. Chapter 4, this entire paragraph describes that Isla doesn't have a curse and she doesn't have the powers. She eats the heart. They give her a heart for dinner, and she eats it anyway. And the reason she is a Mary Sue is because she does get powers. She gets powers in the end. She ends up with powers, and that's what Sky Shade is about, which is so stupid. It's a Lightlark, it's Nightbane, it's Sky Shade. I don't get it. Is Nightbane a place? Is it a thing? Is it a person? I don't know. I haven't read the book. What about Sky Shade? Do the titles of these books actually have anything to do with what's inside of them, or do they just sound cool? But you should have waited. Chapter 4 should not have been the point where you were like, hey, 180, just kidding. She's powerless. More expo dumping. More. There's more. And then this is to the point where I discovered that the chapters are getting shorter and shorter, and that's true. At some point, chapters start being like a page and a half long. And this, I don't know what I was upset about, but I was obviously upset about something. Isla has pretty much no social skills. I wrote about that in this book, and that's true. And that stays true through the entirety of the chapters that I read of this book. Which, I mean, makes sense kind of, because technically she was held prisoner in her own castle her entire life, except when she got her star stick and was traveling the known worlds. I don't get the point of this. And apparently neither did past me, because we're having a moment again. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of bad TikTok books. Please, please, please. There are authors who are so much better than this that aren't able to get into publishing because of garbage like this. I mean, it makes me upset. It makes me angry. And I think I'm angry because I would love to be published someday. I mean, I would love it. I think it would be great. I would be so happy. There are so many better things we can be publishing. So many better things that we could be doing with our time than reading stuff like this. Yes, I'm being mean because ain't no way. Okay, ain't no way. This is just me angry ranting about stuff I can't even remember. And you know, to make this video, I probably should have gone through and I probably should have reread at least the 18 chapters, but that would have taken a lot of time. And I really don't care that much because I stopped reading this at chapter 18 because there was literally nothing going on. I remember at one point Isla went into this mirror because all of the rulers are allowed to like test each other, kind of. They're setting up trials for each other to prove something. I don't know, because they need to decide, because they need to like kill one of them. I guess that's the point of the prophecy, is they need to kill one of them. And they're setting up all these trials, and there's one in this arena with like all the peoples except for like not all of them. I don't know. Alex Astor can't describe stuff. There was one with a mirror, and I don't remember what the other people's names are in this, but the Moonling ruler set up this mirror, and you need to face your biggest fear, and if you don't, it'll kill you. But they're not supposed to try and kill each other, so I don't understand. The rules about this were really convoluted because, from my memory, you can't kill each other until after the 50th day, because they have 100 days to try and break the curses, but you can't actively go out and seek to kill each other until day 50. But all your trials, if they die during the trial that you set up, that's somehow different. But you're also teaming up with people. None of it was explained well. None of it makes sense. And obviously none of it was important enough for me to remember. Like there is literally nothing that happens. It is expo dumping until at least chapter 6. And then that expo dumping still doesn't stop. But there's also no dialogue, so there's no like character development going on at all. There's like nothing happening. And I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. But maybe I'm just stupid.
Editing Becca here. I heard that Alex has a movie deal, or a TV series deal. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I think I did hear about this. That the producer of Twilight is working on the Lightlark movie with Universal Studios. Alex is an executive producer. AI is pulling my leg right now. Let me see if I can. I want you to read this. I want you to read these points really quick, if I can get it to focus on the words on the screen. this bottom point says, some say the books are beautiful and poetic. Isn't that what I said? What's her name should not get into is poetry, with original ideas and no info dumping. But then also, the series has been described as a mix of Court of Roses, Thorses, and The Hunger Games. If it has original ideas, it can't be a mix. It can't be inspired by something else if it is original ideas. This is why AI overview irritates me, but also this is like people's thoughts. AI has just compiled people's like opinions on this book. But no, she has a movie deal. I thought it was a series. I know Powerless is getting a series, allegedly, from what Lauren said. I don't have TikTok anymore, so people just send me this stuff. But apparently Powerless is getting a series. And apparently Lightlark has, yeah, the camera's on the side, so I need to hold it up with this hand. Lightlark apparently has a script, I guess, from what Alex has said on her TikTok. I really hope that script was written by an actual writer. I really hope they didn't let Alex anywhere near that script. I mean, go girl boss, go. I still claim that part of it has to do with nepotism. Producers get more leverage for the most part. The people with the final say, though, in the film industry are the shareholders. Now, the reason that we are seeing Lightlark and Powerless and Fourth Wing, the probable reason why they're getting deals like this, like movie and TV show deals, is because the shareholders. The shareholders see how much influence TikTok has and how much influence people on TikTok have, which is why books like Lightlark and Powerless and Fourth Wing were able to get to the New York Times bestseller list and stay there, and they see how popular they are with how much of a fan base they have. The shareholders see that and they want to capitalize on it. It's all just capitalism in the end. That's all it is. They don't care what the end product is as long as they make money off of it when it first comes out. That's why they drive up so much hype. That's why they're letting these authors come in and say on TikTok, oh, I just had a really great conversation with the people from this industry that were making a movie or a TV series about my book. That's why they're allowed to do that. It's all marketing. Like, the only reason that they have any involvement with stuff like this is because of the marketing and because of how, like, influential they do. They can spend less money on marketing when these people are marketing their own books, okay, or their own book to movie adaptations, okay? That's what the entire game plan is for this. That's why it exists like that. So, that being said, I just wanted to come in here and give this update because I didn't know at the time of recording this that there was a movie deal for Lightlark. What you're gonna write about, who's to say? Then again, I didn't finish the book. So if you want me to finish the book, leave me a comment and I will try to persuade myself to finish the book for you. Because I love you like that. That being said,